This poor guy, he's stuck in the middle of these two women. Well, I say poor guy, maybe he doesn't see it that way. It's so cute. I love this, like, style of anime. Like, it's just like everything looks so round and I don't know. There's just something special about it. Wow, the detail in this opening is incredible. Wow, look at the detail. Holy shit. Yeah, this is... Oh, hell yeah. Look how long she's running. Holy shit. It's the longest net I've ever seen in my life. Is she playing tennis across 5 courts? Like, what is happening there? Who's this? No! Get away from him! Feels almost like this is parodying other series. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are back with another retro video. I don't know what era of retro we're doing, whether we're going as far back as the 60s, which we haven't done, whether we're doing more 90s, I have no idea. Only Pinecino knows right now, and he's not really telling me until we actually get into this, so it's going to be a lot of fun. If you guys enjoy the video, please feel free to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment letting me know your favorite opening that I check out today, and your favorite series that we've checked out today with an opening, and also maybe any retro openings that you would like to see in future. I know there are still a lot of openings and a lot of big series that we haven't checked out yet, so you know, maybe you guys could recommend some of them and maybe some other obscure ones that otherwise maybe would be forgotten. I have a gaming channel, Jazmur_games, link in the description below if you want to follow me there. I post gaming content every so often. I also have a Twitter where I post regular-ish updates, x.com/Jazmur_tweets, link again in the description below, and feel free to check out some of the other videos on the channel that I've checked out. I have at this point like 70 or so videos for reaction content, some of those being episodes for series and plenty of opening reactions, etc. So hopefully there's something for you to enjoy on there. And with that said, I am now ready to jump into this video and see what it is that we have in store today for this retro video. I am now ready to check out opening number 1 for what will be the final retro set of this year. Oh, blue sky. A star? Is it? What is it? Oh, Urusei Yatsura. Okay. This feels like an old school cartoon. Oh, she's not happy. I don't know her name, but I know she's iconic. This poor guy, he's stuck in the middle of these two women. Well, I say poor guy, maybe he doesn't see it that way. Spaceship? Men all have so many loves. Look at all these people running. Little chibi-fied. It's just a little love story, you know? But with someone to to get in the way and cause drama. The little like dance she does is pretty adorable. And that was Urusei Yatsura. Those obnoxious aliens. That's what that means. That's funny. Released from 1981 to 1984 by Pierrot. 2 decades later, they would go on to do Naruto, Bleach, and Black Clover. And from 1984 to 1986 by Dean. Okay, so we're getting much more and more Dean content as we go on. The song is Lum No Love Song by Yuko Matsutani. Yeah, this is absolutely love triangle. Like personified. Like that opening right there was this guy stuck in the middle of these two women. One that, you know, she looked like she was just a normal person, and then another that very clearly is very confident in herself, I guess. For the first 106 episodes, they were produced by Pierrot. It was chiefly directed by the Mamoru Oshii, who later went on to direct Ghost in the Shell, also Soul series inspirer, Dark Souls 3 DLC inspiration, Angel's Egg. Half of these episodes were scripted by Kazunori Ito, who worked on Ghost in the Shell, and Dot Hack Sign, and character designs were by Akemi Takada of Kimagure Orange Road. Oshii and these other two regularly collaborated and would all serve the same roles on a great mega series called Pat Labor, which we'll get to someday. Pat Labor? Pat Labor? Pat Labor? Pat Labor? I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. Pat Labor? Probably, maybe? I think that that's really cool that a series like this had such a stacked crew behind it, but you know, maybe at this point in their careers they weren't seen as like these huge industry titans, and you know, later on as they went on to do other things like Ghost in the Shell, Dot Hack Sign, and Kimagure Orange Road, maybe that's when they started to get more recognition. I'm not sure if at this point in their careers they were seen as these huge forces, but it's really cool to look back on series like these sometimes and see like, wow, they actually went on to do all this other stuff. Like you can trace it back to this where they all collaborated together. I think that's really cool. Pat Labor, okay. The series right here definitely played really heavily into the love triangle within this opening. Like you know, we get at the very start this star showing up. I don't know why when I saw this star I thought, oh, Sailor Moon, right? that's why I think at one point I was like, oh, and then I saw the logo and I was like, oh because I thought this was going to be Sailor Moon. That's what I thought we were getting when I saw a star. And then, you know, seeing her dancing around in this unique style is really cute. I think that she looks like someone who'd be a lot of fun. I've noticed she has little horns in her hair. I thought those were like clips, but they look more like horns. Unless that's just the type of framing we're getting right now. Maybe if we check later, we can see that it's actually clips. I'm not actually sure. Well, this guy right here on the right that's wearing the tiger print shirt also has those horns. Maybe she is a magical girl. Maybe that's the whole trick to her. She's actually a magical girl living in this normal world with normal people, and she runs into this guy right here, and she becomes obsessed with him, and he's just trying to live his life with this other girl perhaps that has interest in him. Maybe they were happy together and she shows up and kind of just, you know, I'm picturing Dio moment where he throws his suitcase out and jumps out of the wagon. Like maybe she just jumps into the middle of his life in the same kind of way and just, you know, takes over his life. And kind of like, you know, to compare to another series, I guess it does something similar but not exactly fully coolly. You know, there's the other potential love interest, and then we get, I can't even remember her name, it's been so long since I watched the series, but we get the other girl, the cool girl with the guitar shows up, and his life kind of just, you know, then becomes revolved around her. So maybe this is that same sort of format or dynamic where this main character is just stuck in the middle of these two people kind of tugging him in both directions. The anime is of course based on the manga of the same name by the legendary empress of shonen rom-coms, who held practically a vice grip over the genre for about 3 decades, the one and only Rumiko Takahashi. The series ran in Shonen Sunday from 1978 to 1987. So 9 whole years this was being serialized in manga format. That's actually really cool. So if this is rom-com, which, you know, I could have guessed from this, I wonder if within the manga and within the anime itself, it's kind of like a all over the place series where it's not exactly following a story. Like it's not like going from point A to the end. Maybe it's kind of just like these random stories that are being told weekly or you know, monthly whenever it was being posted in the manga. I'm not actually sure. The relatively unremarkable Ataru Moroboshi spends his days pining for love to no avail until one day the earth is invaded by aliens, offering humanity a chance to prevent their domination. The aliens randomly select a human to be pitted in a duel of tag against their princess Lum. Ataru finds himself chosen for this fate, and despite many failed attempts as Lum can easily fly away, he manages to claim victory through perhaps some underhanded means. Ataru receives adoration and uses the glory as an opportunity to propose to his childhood sweetheart Shinobu, yet to his dismay this offer is instead relayed to Lum, who intriguingly accepts. Okay. Lum moves in and attempts to integrate into human life to be closer to her darling. All the while, Ataru tries to shoo away the one girl in the universe he refuses to flirt with. Hijinks, many hijinks ensue. That's really funny. So he's someone who, wants love, and that's kind of his main motivation, I guess, for life, perhaps. And then suddenly he's chosen to, run away and not be caught, or to catch love. I'm not sure how that works, if one has to tag the other or if he has to run away within a certain time frame. But nevertheless, he wins somehow against this alien who can fly and proposes to his childhood sweetheart. She says no, and then does she even say no? Scratch that. So he wants to propose to his childhood sweetheart, Shinobu. Somehow that message is relayed to the one, like the alien that he was running away from, and she accepts and they move in together, whereas his childhood sweetheart Shinobu maybe sees all this happening and gets jealous, and then that pushes the two of them closer together. So realistically, Lum is just a character that is used as a device to push the other two together and allow them to realize their feelings for one another. That's what I expect the series might end up being, but at the same time, it's really funny that this alien Lum is someone who's just like, you know what, I'll give this human thing a chance. I'll integrate into their society, into their lives, and live out their days as they do, because she probably can just like do whatever the hell she wants. I think we saw at one point she was a little baby, but I don't know if that's just because, showing a chibi-fied version of a bunch of them. Little baby burns him. I don't know if that's just kind of like, chibi-fied, because then right after that we see a bunch of kind of chibi-fied characters. Mamoru Oshii's house style in the decades to come would lean cerebral, political, sci-fi, so this being his first major work can be seen as a surprise. Yet when experiencing his run, you can see his influence all over. There's this group of Ataru's schoolmates that really don't feature much at all in the manga, but are promoted to side characters, to major side characters, in fact, in the anime. They are led by a character called Megane Glasses, who's voiced by Shigeru Chiba, the voice of Buggy, who Oshii tried to feature as much as he could in the series, since he just loved working with Chiba. That's actually really fun. There he is, right? That's him right there. I love that sometimes directors just latch on to something, like, there's series that I've watched, TV series for example, spoilers for the very first episode of Lost, I guess. You can tune out right now if you don't want to hear. The main character of Jack was supposed to die in the pilot, at the pilot episode, the very first episode. But when they were working with him, they liked him so much, they liked his character so much, that they decided to keep him, and he's featured the entire series. So I think that it's really cool when you can see that sort of thing as well, but within anime itself, because that will completely change so much. Because, voice acting, I can't imagine, I imagine voice acting is one of the last thing that happens when it comes to these series. So if the director was like, oh, I actually like this voice actor a lot, wouldn't they have had to restructure and change a lot of the actual series, record more scenes, put in more scenes, just to feature him more? Like, that's really interesting. Changes like this and the tone that would shine through, particularly in the dozen or so anime original episodes, has gone on to contribute to the perception that the first half of the anime is more of Oshii's work than Takahashi's. There's even more semi-substantiated evidence that Takahashi herself felt this way disapprovingly. Oh, that's a shame, because this looks like a really classic cartoon series, like it's obviously animated cartoon, whatever, but it looks like the kind of series that you would just put on like the Flintstones, or something like that in the same vein, Scooby-Doo. Like, it just kind of gives me that same vibe, that same feeling, and the same fun, Sunday morning, Saturday morning cartoon feel. So it's a shame then to hear that the original writer might have felt disapprovingly towards this. These creative disputes may be true, but the quality of the work simply can't be denied. The series dominated the culture of the time and became an anime titan for decades to come. Lum is effectively the symbol for that era of anime, and could be argued is the progenitor for many an archetype that would follow. Yeah, I've seen the Lum character before. I've seen her design. I am fully aware that she is iconic, and she is someone that a lot of people love, and she's a character that kind of shines brightly slightly. I guess I wasn't really aware that, you know, a lot of these facts about her that I've learned today, but I think it's really cool. She just looks like a fun character, and she looks like she's really just someone who is stuck in the middle of all this silly nonsense, and probably someone that is the cause and source of a lot of these problems that the characters have throughout the runtime. But I'm wondering then just how vastly different the actual anime and manga are. Like I was saying earlier, I was asking whether the series is kind of episodic in the sense that every episode is a different problem, a different thing, you know, like they just have an issue at the beginning of the episode and they have it solved by the end perhaps, or if it does kind of tell this continuous story throughout, because maybe the manga does that where it tells a continuous story throughout, whereas the anime kind of goes a more episodic route. Obviously, these are things I won't know unless I check out the series. For a love triangle series, this was a lot of fun. I think it's funny that someone that worked on this went on to work on Kimagure Orange Road, because that's another love triangle series that we checked out on the channel. This is obviously a series I've heard of before. It's, you know, one of the big 80 series, I guess, you know, of the time. So yeah, I think that it's a real joy that we were able to check this out today. It was surprisingly to learn that this was done by Piero, and that then Studio Dean picked it up in the later half, or the later stretch of the series. Orange Road was 1000% made in the wake of this. Yeah, no, I can picture it perfectly. Even, you know, the fact that there was an alien in this series, and then in Orange Road, you know, you get someone with Esp. You know, it's kind of like keeping that supernatural or sci-fi kind of thing throughout. You think this was Piero's third anime series or thereabouts? That's interesting. I guess because I've checked out so much Piero in terms of openings on the channel, you know, with Naruto, Bleach, and Black Clover, it always surprises me when there's another series that isn't one of those, because those are the series I associate with Piero. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I've checked out some other series that Piero has done, you know, here and there, but it always does surprise me when I check out a new Piero opening. But I think that might do it for this opening. I think I might be ready to move on to the next one. Really fun looking series, and I'm sure a lot of people have very fond memories of this series. So I'd love to hear your opinions on it in the comments below. For anyone that's checked out both the manga and anime, let me know which you prefer, and without spoiling too much, I guess, let me know some of the changes that might have happened between the two without giving too much away, because I don't want spoilers, just in case, you know. Here we go. Opening number 2, if we're ready. Panda? Oh. Yapapa Yapapa? This is Ranma, right? It's so cute. I love this like style of anime. Like, it's just like everything looks so round, and I don't know, there's just something special about it. Ranma? I don't know if that's half or 1 out of 2. Like, look at these designs. They're so like, they're so cute and full of energy and life. Not the water. Oh. Oh, don't push it. No. It's annoying. But just for tonight, it's okay. Who's this girl? Like, is she Ranma? Satan Club? What the hell? Or maybe she's in the Stain Club from MHA. So many characters. Oh, that was so cute. That was a really adorable opening, actually. I do really like the designs and the looks of these characters a lot. Ranma half, but just say Ranma for short. Yeah, okay. I really do love the designs. I love the look. I love the way that they're shaped and everything. It's just a really, really like cool look that I feel like we don't really see anything like this nowadays. Maybe the new Ranma series that aired this year actually looks like this as well, but in a modern style. I don't actually know. But one thing I will say is that they've kind of got a bit of same face going on here. Like apart from eyes and hair, their faces are pretty much the exact same throughout, most of the characters that we do see in this opening. This is Ranma Half, released from 1989 to 1992 by Dean, who did Higurashi and Konosuba. The song is Don't Make Me Wild Like You by Etsuko Nishio. We're getting a lot of Dean lately, which is really cool because prior to checking out Higurashi, I'd never heard of Studio Dean before. So it's really fun checking out like a new studio's work and getting to experience so much of it in such a short amount of time. It's really eye-opening to me because I would never have known that they were a huge name in this industry. Directed first season by Tomomi Mochizuki. In your opinion, an underappreciated Ghibli film Ocean Waves. I haven't seen it. Scripted by Yoshio Urasawa, who did the jump comedy Bobobo, classic isekai Fushigi Yugi, and Toshiki Inoue of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Death Note fame. Character designs by Atsuko Nakajima, also chief animation director Komi-san. Music by the Kenji Kawai, Higurashi Mob Psycho, and Ghost in the Shell, and based on the Shonen Sunday manga that ran from 1987 to 1996 by the mighty Rumiko Takahashi. She's back, she's doing it again, and she's got a vice grip on this genre for sure. Akane Tendo trains vigorously in the martial arts as the youngest daughter of 3 of the Tendo Dojo. Her father Son was promised by fellow martial arts enthusiast Genma that his son Ranma Saotome would marry one of the Tendo daughters someday to continue the family business. However, on the promised day, a distraught, mysterious girl arrives in Ranma's place with a panda accompanying her. Interesting. The Tendo accept the pair into their home until they can figure out what has happened to the Saotomes. So the panda that we saw at the start is an actual character in the series. I thought it was kind of just a little silly thing that they included in the opening for, some reason, but that's really funny. That night, the exhausted, mysterious girl retires to the bath, Akane unknowingly following not long after. When she opens the door, she instead finds a boy, in her family's bathroom, and promptly freaks out. Soon after the situation is fully explained. The girl and the boy are in fact both Ranma, as a curse he gained while training in China causes a splash of cold water to switch genders and hot water to switch back. The panda is revealed to be Ranma's father Genma under a similar curse. The whole water thing, I'm not going to give too much away, but that sounds like something familiar to me as a Dan reader. I see where they got that idea from now, from Dan. They might have taken it from this, unless that idea of, water, hot water, cold water is something that is actually part of something much older than this. I don't actually know. Tatsu ripped Ranma off. Well, Tatsu was asked to go and read a bunch of romance series, and that's Dan is the series he came up with. So there's a lot of inspiration for Dan taken from a bunch of other series, and I think that's one of the coolest things about it. Undeterred, the two fathers still agree to their proposed engagement of their children, and the two older Tendo sisters swiftly thrust the responsibility onto Akane. Akane rejects the arrangement, as does Ranma, yet as the two get to know each other alongside their shared passion for the martial arts, something begins to blossom between them, all the while contending with that whole constant gender swapping predicament. An iconic avalanche of hijinks ensues. The concept and sound for this series is just pure fun. Also, I forgot to talk about the opening song for the previous opening, Urusei Yatsura, but the song was just pure fun, and it really did kind of give me that Saturday, Sunday morning cartoon feel, as does this one. This song is just pure fun. It's very energetic, and it has those like classical kind of Japanese sounding tones in the background, I guess, with the instruments that are being used. And I think that it's a really clever choice to do that because their feelings and their love for martial arts, and that's obviously something that's very tied to those regions. Ranma is of course played by two voice actors to reflect their two genders. Male Ranma is voiced by Kappei Yamaguchi. Usopp, holy shit, and another big Takahashi roll down the line. I know what that is. I know who Usopp voices. Usopp voices Inuyasha. I know that. That's like one interesting fact that I know about the voice actor for Usopp. I just did not No, and I guess I don't have that confirmation that, oh, it is Yamaguchi. Okay, he knows. Yeah, that's. I feel like you told me that a long time ago, and that was just something that really shocked me because I don't know Inuyasha, but I wouldn't have pictured Usopp's voice in that role. And female Ranma is voiced by the Megumi Hayashibara, Rei Ayanami, this being one of her first big breakout roles. That's really cool. I love that the voice actors that I'm very familiar with, they had works that went back this far that were also very iconic. You know, like obviously nowadays people would talk about Usopp, Rei Ayanami, but back then, you know, these were the big roles and they were known for them and they're probably still known for these roles today. I'm wondering if they continued and picked up those roles when the 2024 anime released this year. That's something I don't actually know. I'd be curious to find out if we do check out the 2024 anime opening down the line. I think it's a really, really cool piece of trivia. I can't get over the character designs. I really do love them so much. I think that they look really cute, really fitting, and I just love this look so much. I don't know if this is a product of the time look or anything like that. The fact that this and Urusei Yatsura before it look very similar in style and character design, etc., I would imagine this is her kind of in-house like stylish. She crafted herself, and I think that it's adorable, and I really do think that it fits perfectly for everything that we see. And I love the logo as well. It's a very, very cool logo, and yeah, just everything about this opening is adorable. It's cute, it's fun, and honestly, I want to know more about it. I think then it's curious that we see not only, oh, I see. I was going to say, I think it's curious that when it's male form, it's got they've got black hair, when in female form they got red hair. But I'm just now noticing that we do actually see water being thrown over them, and then we see them come back with the female look. So it's actually shown in the opening as well, the whole water thing. I just didn't pick up on that. I just saw the water and I thought it was a cute little moment. I don't know what this little bubble's about, what it represents. Does it represent bubble bursting and, you know, your mind, you know, becoming open to new things and stuff like that? The two of them look really cute together. They're adorable, and I'm questioning now why she's got STN Club written on her jumper. Is that Satan? Is it Stain? Like Satin. As Urusei Yatsura was for the 80s, Ranma would serve as its own landmark series for the 90s in anime culture. This was both the case for Japan and a broader global market. Urusei Yatsura was just a little too early for proper English language licensing, sans a curious pilot created by the BBC. Whereas Ranma was one of the first anime licenses of the rising Viz Media in 1993 and became an instant hit. Funny enough, like, yeah, I had heard of Urusei Yatsura, but this is one that I have heard more of. I feel like this is kind of more in the mainstream culture, like, you know, it's one that people talk about more than others. I had a conversation with a friend of mine like a few months back when Dandadan was starting, because she was also watching Dandadan, and I was like, oh yeah, and Ranma is also starting, and she was like, what, they're doing a new Ranma series? And she was very excited because her favorite anime of all time is Inuyasha. So I should have pieced together that that's why she was excited. And yeah, funny enough, I feel like I've seen memes or clips of maybe that BBC pilot, because I feel like they kind of take the piss in it, do they not? And it's kind of like a real messy pilot in terms of voice acting and stuff. Like, it's just really weird. The concept for the series is a really good one. The love blossoms despite the fact that Ranma goes both male and female. You know, like, she learns to fall in love, I guess, Akane, with the person that Ranma is, and not for their looks, not for the fact that they're male, female, anything like that. I think it's a really cool idea, and I do think that it's a great kind of boundary breaking or like series maybe for the time. Like, I don't know if really anything else kind of tackled an issue like that. Yeah, the gender bend, yeah, but at the same time, like, the fact that it's a romance series throughout that, and I think that it's a really great idea and concept, and I love that it kind of did tackle those themes way before any other series maybe did. I don't actually know though. The piss is more you hear those English accents Over Urusei Yatsura, yeah, you're right. Ugh, I couldn't imagine just a big dirty British voice talking over some of those series. You think they legit tried, it just wasn't the time for it. Fair enough. I guess it wasn't to be. I don't really know if I have much more to say about this series opening. I had a lot of fun with it. The characters look like a ton of fun. I love the panda. I love the way they dress. They've got, like, one thing I really like about this opening is that it shows them wearing a bunch of different clothes and wearing a bunch of different clothes. You know, they're wearing different outfits and stuff. And that's something I really do love about some series, you know, when main characters, you know, you'll see them wearing new outfits, new clothes, stuff like that. And opposed to just wearing the same thing every time. Like, obviously some big series do that, like, you know, I'm thinking One Piece, every arc they get a new outfit. Even within animation that isn't anime, that isn't Japanese, you know, Totally Spies, I think one of the cool pieces of trivia about Totally Spies is the fact that in every episode they wear different clothes. They never wear the same thing twice. You know, I just it's something that I like because it shows that the creators had passion and had love for these characters, that they thought out new outfits for them to wear. They call Lum Bird in Urusei Yatsura in the BBC version. That's awful. Yeah, I never want to see that. I'm ready to move on to the next one. I had a lot of fun with this. I want to see what we get in the next one, so I think we should move on and see what we get in opening number 3. Opening number 3, what's it going to be? Let's see. That was a lot of rhyming. Oh, the real scratchy crayon kind of look. It's really cool. It is really cute. I love the pencil look. Oh, the amount of detail in her hair. Look like a galaxy almost. Maison Ikkoku. Oh, not the dog, no! Wow, the detail in this opening is incredible. Oh shit, the sound effects. She's a tennis star. Oh shit. Not another love triangle. Wow, look at the detail. Holy shit. Oh, I love the dog so much. Oh no! The fracture between them. Why is she fractured too? Interesting. It's what I promised after all. And that was Maison Ikkoku. This is Maison Ikkoku, released in 1986 to 1988 by Dean once more, directed by Kazuo Yamazaki, the second half of Urusei Yatsura after Oshi, scripted by Kazunori Ito of Urusei Yatsura, character designs by Yuji Moriyama, somehow coincidentally the second episode of Uzumaki. Oh no! Oh no. That's a bad episode. Oh no. And Akemi Takada of Urusei Yatsura, and music by Kenji Kawai, who did the music for Ranma, funny enough. The song is Hello Sadness by Yuki Saito. There was a lot of staff crossover from the Urusei Yatsura anime, its finale, and Maison Ikkoku's premiere. The finale was only a week apart. Holy shit. That's kind of crazy, like the way that studios worked back then. Like, you know, we saw the same thing with Gundam, between Zeta, Double Zeta, or no, it was between Double Zeta and Victory, I believe, where there was this huge time skip, but there was only like 2 weeks difference between those two series finishing and starting, since they were both Dean, and then clearly some went on to work on Ranma as well. Nice little production lineage there across a decade of Takahashi anime. Zeta into Double Zeta. Okay, it was Zeta into Double Zeta. There wasn't a time skip. I was thinking the opening for Victory was very fun opening, and I was like, oh, but it's a dark series. But no, it's actually the other way about. Of course, based on the manga by that their little unknown manga author known as Rumiko Takahashi, as opposed to the previous two series that ran in Shonen Sunday, Maison Ikkoku actually ran in the seinen magazine Big Comic Spirits. This magazine would later feature works like 20th Century Boys, Goodnight Pum Pum, Ping Pong, and Uzumaki, to name a few. Maison Ikkoku also ran from 1980 to 1987, so almost completely in parallel with Urusei Yatsura. That's really, really interesting, actually. What were they on back then that they were able to write so many series like consecutively, like at the same time and stuff? Like, we saw that with Go Nagai. I know that another one is, forgive me, I can't remember the name, but Tezuka, I think it is, Astro Boy. Like, they were just writing like 20 series at the same time. Like, what are they doing? That's absolutely insane. Did they have like assistants up the ass? Like, did they have like 30 people doing this for them? How did they have the time to do several series at the same time? I don't get it. They were on crack back then. It's huge credits to their abilities and to their creativity that they're able to create all these different series and have all these different ideas, and the fact that all these series are so different from one another. It's just a huge credit to them. I honestly can't believe it. The last quarter of Kaguya and the first quarter of Oshinoko ran at the same time. Bro's on crack too. Like, what is what? I can't believe that. I could not imagine that, honestly. I think that is insane. Like, huge credits to anyone that's able to do that, especially considering how different the series are. But honestly, you need to take a break. Like, I'm surprised he didn't start writing a new series as Oshinoko was ending. I wouldn't have been surprised if that had been the case. I hope that he's able to take a break now, because he deserves it for sure. I will say the opening for this one, the detail and the way they're drawn and the way everything looks, it looked almost like a complete, fully realized version of what Takahashi's art probably is within anime. Stuff like this might be on a volume cover or something, like, and it looks like this and it's very detailed and it's got all this beautiful color on a volume cover perhaps, or within the manga itself. But, you know, in anime, a lot of time, you know, they kind of go for a more simplified look because they need to animate it. And animation is hard, especially when you've got all this detail. So maybe they kind of were taking inspiration from her actual artwork for this anime opening. But it's absolutely beautiful. It's so stunning. I love the way it looks like it's colored in with pencil. The backgrounds sometimes look like they've got crayon scratchings on them. And it's genuinely, like, honestly, this is kind of what I would imagine peak Takahashi art looks like. I really do think this is some of the best artwork I've seen in an anime opening in a very long time. It's so creative, it's so beautiful. Everything about it just shows that Studio Dean had so much love for this work, and they really just wanted to present this in with as much care and as much love as possible. It's also, if this is about tennis, or if tennis features in it pretty heavily, that would make this the second anime that we've seen that has a lot of tennis in it in terms of anime openings. So that's really cool. You know, Aim for the Ace was the first that we checked out in 70s. So then seeing this one that came much later, that's just really fun to me. And I think that the singer did a great job here again. It was very fitting for the song. It was very fitting for the series. And I think that it showcased the series perfectly, showing I guess a couple of love interests like this, and yet again, like, look at the detail in them right here compared to what we saw in some of the other openings. There's so much detail. The guy on the right almost looks like a Ken doll, like, let's be real, and the guy on the left looks like he's the sweet guy who might be shy, who knows. Seeing then how they get fractured and move away from each other, and then we see this really, really beautiful shot of our main character right here. Like, it's seriously stunning. Like, this is a really, really beautiful opening. I'm not going to get over how beautiful this opening is, honestly. I can't imagine the series itself is as detailed as this, because we do see shots then of what looks like the anime, and it does look a lot like some of the other openings that we did just check out, you know, Ranma and Urusei Yatsura, you know, where it's not got as much detail, but the characters still look very Takahashi, and you can tell that it's done by Studio Dean, who did the other works. You know, it still has that look to it. Yusaku Godai is a recent tenant of the inconspicuous boarding house Maison Ikkoku. Its quiet outside appearance in stark contrast to the loud, boisterous nature of its other residents. Constantly interrupted in his studies to apply for college, Godai prepares to move out until he meets the new property manager, Kyoko Otonashi. Godai instantly falls for her and decides that staying around may not be so bad after all. Yeah, she's beautiful. Like, so that doesn't surprise me at all. And this also looks like, you did say this runs in a seinen magazine, which makes more sense because they do look older. The characters don't look as young as in the other series that we have checked out prior to this. Though Godai believes things are starting to hit off, he learns that Kyoko is in fact a recent widow, holy shit, and has no plans for romance as she still mourns deeply for her late husband. Godai, along with the rest of the residents of Maison Ikkoku, seek to help Kyoko out of her depressive state, allowing her the room to open her heart once more. That's a really beautiful premise for a series, and also one that really sounds like it has like a real positive message at the end of it, opposed to, you know, oh, it's a love series, blah blah blah, like just about love. This is one that sounds like it's got an idea of like love, and it really just wants to tell the story of someone overcoming their past and someone overcoming like the loss of a loved one. And it's got this really beautiful message, it seems like, and I hope that it's presented in a really careful way, I guess, because, you know, this could really hit home for some people. I think that it's a really, honestly, great concept, and I do really like that. Also, real quick, this is the second time I think we've checked out a trilogy of directors. Prior to this, we did check out the Go Nagai trilogy, and now we're doing a Takahashi trilogy. I wonder if we'll get more Takahashi within this video itself. If this is all going to be Takahashi, who knows. While Takahashi's bigger series defined rom-coms tropes with all their bombast, Maison Okaku offers a more slow-paced, measured take on romance. It of course still has her patent comedy included, but the largely adult cast, and that it's a story taking place over 7 years rather than the typical rom-com time bubble, gives it a relatively mature tone compared to her other works. No secret, it's your personal favorite work of hers, and in your opinion, one of the best from this whole retro period we're covering. Oh shit, okay. This one is obviously one that would interest me more than the previous two. You know, the whole like younger kids, teenagers, you know, falling in love and finding love and all that, with a lot of comedy attached. It's not, it sounds fun for sure, but it's not as interesting to me personally, who likes a good story. And the fact that then this series seems to be more focused on the story of the romance rather than the romance and then the story, if that makes sense. I don't know. It really is pretty appealing, honestly, to me. I think that this would be my personal favorite as well of the works that we're checking out. I think that it does sound and look to be a really beautiful, genuinely touching, heartwarming series. I'm glad that there is still some comedy, because, you know, that's kind of at this point the Takahashi trait, I guess, if you will. I'm glad that that's still present, but at the same time, I'm really glad she was able to dive into and tackle a much deeper series, one that has a lot more depth and a lot more meaningful moments in it. And yeah, I'd be really actually curious to check out this for myself one day, because it does really sound like a really beautiful, touching story. I love the dog. I guess the dog is kind of your insight into the comedy here, because the dog is very funny. It's very Scooby-Doo like, and jumping into the owner's arms. And yeah, I'm genuinely not going to get over the beauty of the opening itself. Like, it's so stunning. And honestly, maybe the guy on the left, because we see a fracture through him, maybe this is her late departed husband, perhaps. You know, because we do see the fracture through him. I'm not actually sure, but that would be my guess anyway as to who this character is. Maybe the other guy that we did see at one point in a frame with the other two was the actual one that wants to, you know, get to know her, the guy on the right here. Like, I don't know, but, you know, it's pretty interesting that it gives us these little details. And yeah, honestly, it's so beautiful. It's such a stunning opening, and seeing her mind kind of crack open, I don't know if that's kind of symbolizing the way she thinks, and her mind is kind of like lost right now, like she's all over the place and she's a mess, and she needs the pieces to be built back together because she's like kind of broken up right now. Maybe that's what that's representing. But yeah, I think I might be ready to move on to the next one. I wonder what we're going to get next. We might be past Takahashi at this point, or maybe it's Inuyasha, who knows. Urusei Yatsura is back! He becomes Scorpio? Oh. He becomes Virgo. She just looks such a fun character. Look at the dancing. Oh, this is fun. I wonder if she's making him dance because it looks like that's how it started. Look at her in the stars. No sign of the other love interest yet. It's just the two of them. Not the fish. There she is. They've all been chibi-fied again. She's burned him again. Dancing star. This is a pure fun opening. Dancing star. Yeah, that was just pure fun. I love this opening a lot, actually. It honestly is maybe my favorite song we checked out today already. Like, it's only opening number 4, but this is a really great sounding track. It was so fun. It was full of like the playful energy that I suspect the series is full of. This is the second opening for Urusei Yatsura Dancing Star by Izumi Kobayashi. This would be the opening right up to the 106th episode when Oshii handed off the director's seat to Kazuo Yamazaki and animation production shifted from Pierrot to Dean. So this is the second and final opening for Pierrot's Urusei Yatsura. Definitely going to put it on your Spotify. Yeah, no, this is an absolute bop for sure. So we just got to remember Dancing Star by Izumi Kobayashi. This is just a pure fun. Honestly, yet again, giving those Saturday, Sunday morning, like weekend morning cartoon vibes where you just sit down in front of the TV and just enjoy what you're getting. And this really did make me want to just like vibe along and swing along and just like want to know more about the series. It's very intriguing as an opening because the whole opening is very much about dancing. Like, it's showcasing the main character here. Well, Lum and I can't even remember the main character's name already, but Lum and the main character, it's honestly just them the entire opening. We get parts towards the end where it shows the whole other cast of characters, but they're shown in such a small way, a very chibified look, that it's so clear and obvious that they're not really in the forefront as much, and this is all kind of Lum and the other guy, you know, the main love interest. So I think it's really funny because, you know, this opening kind of gives you the sense that there isn't even much of a love triangle at this point. It's just straight up, you know, romance between two characters. She looks like a very fun character. I think, you know, her being an alien, Pinecino mentioned earlier that she can fly, but we see here she kind of like points at him and makes him start dancing, I think, right? No, does she? I don't know whether she makes him dance or what happens, because it kind of looked like his body wasn't in control there. But, you know, having an entire anime opening dedicated to dancing is always a ton of fun. Like, it's always a fun opening when it's just like them dancing the entire time. It really gives you this sense of fun, this sense of joy that, you know, the series probably brings. Because this does look like a very fun one. It's obviously probably targeted towards kids, you know, with the style of the opening and the style of the animation and everything. And it really does just give off that really fun vibe and fun feeling that otherwise, you know, you wouldn't get in some series. I think it is kind of pretty obvious, now that we've checked out a couple of the Dean Takahashi works, that the Pierrot look and the Dean look for these series are pretty different, and I think I can actually now see that difference and that change. So that's pretty cool. Urusei Yatsura's audience would go kind of be what the Simpsons would go on to have. Oh, so it starts off with kids and then it's kind of just the adults that grew up with it. Is that what you're trying to say? The kids that watched it continue to talk about it and enjoy it. It was big. The whole family gets together and watches it in primetime. I see. Okay. That's cool. There looks like there's something for everyone here, you know, be it the girl in a bikini for anyone who wants to watch a series for that, be it the comedy for the kids, be it the romance for maybe the mother, you know, not to be stereotypical, but you know, it's got something for everyone here, and I think that's really cool. Pierrot produced 2 UI movies during its run, both directed by Oshii. The first is standard and fun, but the second film, titled Beautiful Dreamer, has gone to be revered as a classic in its own right. It takes a harder sci-fi bordering on existential horror angle to the series and fits right in with Oshii's future catalogue of Angel's Egg and Ghost in the Shell. Beautiful Dreamer is celebrated to the point that newly minted hardcore anime fans get into the 106 episode Oshii run of the TV series just to have context for the characters going into the film. You may have initially been one of those. That's funny. People will be watching 106 episodes of the series just to get to that movie. That's really funny. Is it actually necessary, or is it just good to have that context and that same feel and everything like that? Because yeah, obviously as someone that would like to check out some of the classics down the line, especially classic movies, I would want to know if this 106 episode series would actually be necessary viewing for that. You think it's good for the context and you find it a great show along the way? Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. I think that it's really fun that this opening takes place in space as well a lot of the time, because you know, you did mention Oshii's works, you know, being sci-fi and everything, so seeing them kind of in space and him clinging on to stars as she's kind of floating there like she's in her domain while he's kind of just clinging on for dear life, it's very funny. That's probably how things would be if they were in space. You know, he'd be clinging on to her. No, not the domain. No, not the expansion. No. Very fun opening. I think that the song itself was an absolute jam, an absolute bop. The animation was very fun. The dancing was an absolute blast. I love the dancing in openings like these, and I love the character designs, and she just looks like a ton of fun. I actually really do like this look for Lum. I suspect if we do check out any of the Studio Dean openings for this series, I don't know if we will, I suspect that she'll maybe look pretty different, but this is kind of like a look that I really do like. I think that Pierrot has done a great job in these character designs and how they look and everything like that. So yeah, great job. And I don't really know what more to say about this, because we've talked about the series kind of at length already, so really all I was able to talk about was visuals and song, and I feel like I've talked about those quite a bit, right? Also the use of having hearts everywhere, because it's a romance, hearts in space, everything like that. It's just pure fun on the nose. And then we do see a shot later on where he notices the girl that he likes, you know, the love interest from when he was a child, or not when he was a child, his childhood sweetheart. He sees her and he smiles at her, but then he sees this other guy kind of dancing potentially for her affection in the bottom right, and he looks really grumpy and annoyed about it. So I think it's cool then that the opening also showed us that while this series might focus more on Lum, he's not interested. So I think that's really funny. But yeah, I think we might be ready to move on to opening number 5, if we're ready, everyone. Opening number 5. Let's see what we get. It makes me numb. Oh, is this a new scene? Oh no, that's the same dog, right? So this is Maison Ikkoku again. I love you to my regret. This is a very somber, slow ballad. This definitely sounds more in line with the emotional aspects of this series. Yeah, this is... Oh, hell yeah! Oh, I love the dog. How long was that tennis net? This is beautiful. I love you. Aw. Is she gonna be at the grave? No. Aw. That's so sweet. That's adorable. Oh, and we get a fade out. Aw. Damn, that was very different. It's hard to pick a favorite between this and the previous Maison Ikkoku opening. Oh, this is the third opening. Okay, we skipped the second one. This is the third opening of Maison Ikkoku, I Love You by Anzen Chitai. You might be picking up this set Steal by Night. I think we're going to be doing an entire Takahashi set, I believe, at this point. So we're doing Maison Ikkoku. We are in the Takahashi zone, absolutely. Which is great because I love having like these themes in the retro videos. We're going to be doing Inuyasha, no doubt, towards the end of this video. To Pinecino's dismay, the fact that he knows that I know that it is a Takahashi series. He was probably hoping to throw that in there to surprise. This one was really in touch. Oh, you say city pop? Definitely. It definitely had that city pop sound, but also like a real, almost like power ballady sound. Like it sounded like a love ballad, honestly. Like it had this really strong sense of overcoming something, and that's what this series is about. Like it was so perfectly fitted. It really did sound like the perfect opening almost for a series like this. I'm surprised that the first opening didn't really go in this direction, considering it would be the first opening, but this one definitely felt very fitting. I loved the lyrics, you know, I love you all over, you know, and talking more about I cannot forget you, my heart won't start throbbing, don't show me your tears, all our struggles end in tragedy. Like it's a very hauntingly, beautifully tragic song. I say beautiful because it is telling this story of someone who is really down, but at the end of the day they're still able to say I love you. It might be tragedy and it might be heartbreaking, but at the end of the day, like, there is some good that comes out of it, and I think that that's obviously what this series is all about, and I think that that's really telling that they were able to capture that both within the opening and within the series itself. The animation as well really kind of captures that as well. Within Urusei, Yatsura and Ranma, the openings, they're very playful and they're very, you know, just silly, goofy. Whereas within the Maison Ikkoku openings, we get a lot more artistry, a lot more beauty, and a lot more serious, quiet moments. It just looks like a much more character-driven series and story-driven series than some of the others. In the full music video of the song, the singer is rocking a mullet and a beard at the same time. He is in the 80s. Yeah, absolutely. He is the 80s. That's crazy. I think that Anzen Chitai did a great job with this opening. I don't know if this was recorded for the series or if it was a song that existed already, because it sounds so fitting for the series that I can't imagine it isn't created for the series, if that makes sense. Because like at the same time, this could just be a regular song that was released. That's what it sounds like anyway, so that's why I'm kind of like questioning whether this is an actual track that was just used for the anime or if this was made for the anime itself. Seeing her go through the different seasons of life is very, you know, telling as well. This shot's right here where I'm going to play it again because I love the way it transitioned. It was very like, not to bring up Evangelion again, but you know, like when Evangelion does that do like it cuts in time with the music. I love when series do that, and this one does it right here. Like, let's see it again. Like, it's so well done in time with the drum as well. It's incredible. Part of the full video has it cutting to this opening, so you think it was made for the anime. Okay, that's good. I'm glad to hear that because it sounds so fittingly made for this anime that I couldn't have imagined it any other way. But like I said, at the same time, this sounds like it could just be a regular song that was released, you know? That transition, that cutting right there is so beautiful, so well done, and honestly, great job to Studio Dean. They've outdone themselves with this one, and seeing her go through the seasons of life, you know, very on the nose, you know, in terms of what she's going through and overcoming everything she's going through. You did mention earlier, Pinecino, this is taking place over the course of 7 years. So, you know, 7 years worth of these seasons that come and go. So it's nice to see her going through them within the series. Seeing her running on the beach, you know, I think also it's very telling that this is very different from the other series that Takahashi done, because she's in a one piece, whereas in Urusei Yatsura, Lum's in a bikini the entire time. So this is kind of like a little insight into the complete difference between the two series. You know, wearing a one piece opposed to wearing a bikini shows, you know, she's a little more reserved perhaps. You know, she's obviously mature. Not that wearing a bikini is immature. I'm just saying like she's a mature older woman, not older in the sense that she's old, but she's reserved and she doesn't want to go out there presenting herself in a certain way. She doesn't want to perhaps be looked at, so she's covering up. And I think that, you know, that visual storytelling is very, very clear and very, very important to see here. One Piece, holy shit, next to water as well? No way. The dog as well is just so cute. I love this dog so much. It's got a big chunky collar on. It looks so happy. It's running alongside her. It looks like it's just her friend, her companion throughout all of this hardship that she's going through. Don't know how, but I don't know if it's picking up. But my knuckle is bleeding and I don't know how. I think it's just cracked because it's really dry. So let me just put some lotion on real quick. Bro's pissed. I was clenching my fist so much and I got so pissed off that I ended up bleeding. Yeah, how do you know? What am I pissed off with? The fact that she's not happy because she looks like a really nice character, I guess. Like she looks like she's full of light and full of love and full of all these positive things. So to know that she's going through all this is just really sad. And I hope that she's able to come through it with the help of everyone else, because it sounds like it's a really positive series. Seeing her then running through summer and then perhaps in autumn or fall if you're American, because the trees in the background look yellow, playing tennis on what must be the longest net of all time. Like, let's see this again. Look how long she's running. Holy shit. It's the longest net I've ever seen in my life. Is she playing tennis across 5 courts? Like, what is happening there? Seeing this kind of like ponytail right here is reminding me of Ranma. Because, you know, normally she has her hair down. So, you know, that's cool to see that, you know, you can kind of pick out her style. It's just a truly beautiful opening. You know, winter comes as well and she's walking alone and she looks up and she sees the trees blossoming and then it becomes spring. It's just a truly like beautiful, honestly very touching opening. I think this is one of the most beautiful openings I've seen. Like I said that about the previous one as well. It's a braid, not a ponytail. I see. Teehee. Shows how much I know. Seeing her look down at him, who's the potential love interest, and smiling, and the words "I love you" flashing on screen over and over. It's very, very beautiful. And I do think that this is a very, very special and dear opening, honestly, for the series. And the more I see of this series, the more I'm actually interested in it. Maison no Koku, I think that the story that it's telling is so beautiful, so tragic at the same time, but so overwhelmingly positive, because it's trying to tell this real positive story. And I really do commend them for this. And I think that I hope that it's done well, because it does look incredible. The song, like I said, great track. Loved it so much, and it was so perfectly fitting for what I was seeing here. And I love the way they used the song to match up the visuals. It was really great, because sometimes I wonder which comes first, the song or the visuals. Sometimes it's like, do they make the opening around the song, or do they make the song around the opening? Like, what happens? But I think this one was very clearly the song came first and they built the opening around it. So I think that was really great job. And yeah, this just looks like a really beautiful opening and a beautiful series. And I'd be curious to know if we're going to check out more of this series in the openings to come, because this is number 5 of 13. I think I might be ready now to move on to the next one. I feel like I don't have as much to say when I'm checking out the second opening, because I've talked at length about the series itself prior to this. So, you know, forgive me for not saying it's much, because this is maybe my favorite opening that we've checked out, alongside the other Ikkoku opening, but then also that Urusei Yatsura opening was great. So it's just been a really huge banger list of openings so far. So yeah, let's move on to opening number 6 and see what it is that we get. There's a slight bit of nudity. Oh no. Titties in an opening? Surely not. All right. Here we go. Opening number 6. Pinecino has informed me in chat that there is a little bit of nudity in this one. So, you know, there's going to be some more titty that, you know, we've been seeing a lot lately. So let's see what it is that we get in opening number 6. Ranma is back. Titties for Ranma. Okay. Weird. Why'd they have to put nipples on it? Like, boiling water. Oh shit, they did it again. They lined it up. The This one looks a lot more serious than the previous openings. He's training against a wave? Like, what's happening? I'm a lonely girl, so lonely girl. Hell yeah. It's adorable, yet again. I love that we're getting to see many of the other different characters this time around. Who's this? No! Get away from him! Pours water. Did she pour water on him? Training against a wave that could potentially turn him into a woman. It's a funny concept. This is the second opening of Ranma Half, or just Ranma, Little Star Date by Ribbon. That subtitle you see on the title can be read in the original text as either fierce fighting or boiling water, one of those classic Japanese pun moments. It also signifies that this was the start of a rebranded Ranma series that began with episode 19. The first run was actually met with low ratings to the point that it got cancelled by episode 18. Holy shit, no way, really? That's really surprising to me because I know that this was a huge cultural phenomenon of a series, you know. For the record, that beginning portion of the adaptation is very well done, and the Ranma manga was, by per volume circulation numbers, Takahashi's most popular series. Its flop had been attributed to the time slot it was initially given being way too competitive at that time. Therefore, it was rebranded and aired at a new time on a new day. The second run would go on for 143 episodes, so it very clearly worked. That's really cool. I guess you answered the question I had about like, wow, I'm surprised that this flopped so hard because I thought this was a huge series, but yeah, I guess it was competing against other big series with a very chaotic time slot, so yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But did the story continue? Was it a continuation, or did it restart with episode 19, or was it telling an original story from episode 19? Like, once it rebranded and came back, like what happened? Okay, it continued. Okay, no, that's good. I'm glad it continued because that makes it easy nowadays to go back and rewatch the entire thing if that's what you want to do. I think that this one definitely did have a different vibe to it. I think this opening very clearly had a more almost mature look to it, and almost mature like vibe to it, and it had more of a serious feel to it. It didn't feel as rom-com-y as the previous one. It didn't feel as silly as the previous one. It felt very serious, like they were all doing their thing, they were all doing something, but there were little moments of comedy present throughout. Like, you know, we see them training a lot throughout this, we see them looking out towards what might be school, I guess. They're fighting, you know, there's just like, I don't know why this guy's got claws and why he's trying to kill our main character here, Ranma. That's kind of crazy, but I think that it's a really cool concept that the series presents these rom-com moments, but also like these really serious cool moments, and it kind of blends both. It's kind of like a mixture of Urusei and Maison Ikkoku. Like, this is kind of like the one in the middle, I guess. Maybe not, maybe it's not actually that way. You think they re-emphasize the martial arts angle of it as part of the rebrand to bring in a more shonen action crowd. Yeah, that's cool. I think that's very actually clever, that choice. There is quite a bit of martial arts and fighting within this opening. Hold on a second, what is happening here? There's this girl who's trying to kiss Ranma, and then Ranma gets bonked over the head by a pot, and then this old ass man shows up. Is that his father? I'm just asking questions, sorry. I was really confused about what that little old man was, but I think that might be the panda father, perhaps, who knows? Probably not, but it might be, because here we do see two different Ranmas, I think. You know, we see the girl one on the left, we see the guy on the right. That might be, this little old man on the right might be the father of Ranma, and then the panda is on the left there. Oh, you hate that little shit? Oh shit, okay. It's a very fun opening, and I think that getting to see the way that this might play out is just very fun, and I really do think that it looks like the sort of series that anyone could kind of enjoy. Honestly, it's just a very fun series. It's got a lot of fun, it's got a lot of action, it's got a lot of silly little moments, and it's got some great bangers. Like the opening itself was very fun, it was great. I love the kind of bluesy almost feel of it. It's not exactly bluesy, but you know, it's got like the trumpets and stuff in the background, and the kind of high band production, like it's got a big band feel almost. I don't know. It's just pure fun. It's so 80s, and I think that it was a really great opening. But I might now be ready to move on to opening number 7. I don't really have much more to say, I guess, about this one. Great opening. The boobage at the start, I might have to put a filter over. Let's see what we get in opening number 7. Rock the planet. That's funny. So this would be Studio Dean. Oh shit. It's like a galaxy princess. Look at her hair. Okay, this is very sci-fi, actually. Feels almost like this is parodying other series. Like maybe Saint Seiya just saying. Who's that big baldy boy? Oh, he's actually tiny, never mind. This is so different from what I was expecting. I think it's very fun though. Why is she in a school uniform? No! Leave him alone! But then they start dancing. Hell yeah. So dancing is a very... Yo, she just slid away. Does she just make him dance? Is that the whole gimmick? Because that's not the first time we've seen him dancing and then looking surprised. This is the 5th opening of Urusei Yatsura Rock the Planet by Steffanie. This would be deep into Dean's 89 episode of 195 total run of the series. Steffanie would additionally perform the ending for the series for the 3rd of 6 total Urusei Yatsura movie. You think bro was doing it in his own that time? Oh, okay. Well, that's funny because like he did look a little surprised at the end. Maybe it's because she wasn't there, I guess. And he was looking around looking a little embarrassed. I can see a little bit the difference in the style. Like, yeah, I can see the difference between Dean and Piero's styles here for the series. I don't know, like it doesn't look different enough to really compare the two. As a continuation, I think it's a great job. Like they did a great job doing it. I love that you can tell what it is no matter what. Like it's the exact same. I don't know really. I thought this she'd be like a real goofy character. So seeing her get all heated and destroying planets with her rage just by, you know, getting a tongue stuck out at her is honestly pretty funny. It was funny you were like, this is referencing some series like Saint Seiya and then a Darth Vader helmet is right there on screen. Really? Feels almost like this is parodying other series. I did completely miss this. That's really funny. That's not even trying to hide it. That's just straight up Darth Vader. What the hell is up with that? But yeah, this one was obviously much more sci-fi than any of the other openings, which is funny because you were kind of mentioning that Yoshie is the more sci-fi guy, so I would have expected an opening like this from him more than, you know, Studio Dean. But, you know, seeing shots like these is so incredible. Like this shot of the galaxy in her hair, kind of, you know, just like she is part of the stars. She's one of them. Like she in herself is a star, and she's also from the stars, and that's just part of who she is, while also giving us this real beautiful look. Like it's also just visually stunning. Seeing all the characters in all their different poses is funny. Seeing Glasses Guy right here, I love the idea of like rock the planet. It's the song reminded me almost of like a song I've heard before, but I'm not able to think of what it is. It's just make me think of like a Western song, I guess. You know, a song that I've heard in my life. It's got that sort of feel to it where it's kind of like a timeless song, timeless sound, and I think it does a great job, especially in like capturing the series and what it's about. Perhaps it really does just make us feel like this sci-fi thing is just continuing and running with it, and, you know, rock the planet, shining galaxies pierce my eyes, my heart won't stop burning for you. So it does bring in, you know, the romance as well during the opening. I love seeing the different looks for the characters. Like Lum herself has a different like bikini on here. I don't know if it's supposed to be armor, you know, kind of like in some games that you'll play where you get female armor and it's literally like not covering any of their body whatsoever, but it's high level gear. It's kind of what this is reminding me of, but, you know, it's playing into the whole sci-fi thing as well, where, you know, she's kind of like a warrior princess. It just screams pure fun, pure joy, and the whole concept of them like writing on the stars is really funny. I don't know if that's something that actually happens or if it's just, you know, for fun, because if it's just for fun, it is fun, it's pure fun. And then we see her transition from writing on a star to walking away from school, I guess, with our main character right here. And I think it's a very funny, well done scene, because it shows her transition from alien to human, you know, trying to learn the customs and stuff. And it's interesting too, because during this opening, I can't find the shot again, but there was a shot where okay, there it is. It's very brief. There's a guy who is potentially proposing to Lum. So there's someone who's interested in her, which, you know, might be a good thing, because our main character over here is not interested in Lum, at least from what I know, and that gives him more time to try to woo his childhood sweetheart. I think it's a really interesting dynamic that there's just so many different love interests that kind of come and go and are present throughout, and, you know, they're all liking different people, so it just makes this real mess of a love series, of a romance. And I think that's probably where a lot of the comedy comes from, the whole mess that it is. So yeah, I think that this one definitely gave me an insight into that more than some of the other openings. Great opening. I loved it. I think it was pure fun. I think it was pure joyous, and the song was really just timeless, and the animation transition from Piero to Dean didn't look jarring, didn't look any real different. Like, it does look different, but it's not off-putting, or it's not like better. It's just like, it's different. Like, it's not really comparable in my eyes, because I haven't really checked out the series, just a couple of openings. So yeah, I think we might now be ready to move on to opening number 8. All right, so if we're ready, we'll check out opening number 8. More Takahashi goodness on the way. Maison Ikkoku? I recognize the logo. Ooh. Sunny shining morning. This is so city pop. Maria! Oh, she's so cute. She's so proper. Oh, look at those little poses. Oh my god, what just happened? I don't know why it just skipped ahead. Forgive me. Front of your blinds is too dazzling. Oh, everyone is here. Not the rice. Just to distract them. Oh, and the dog's pushing them into each other. That's so cute. Oh, that was adorable. Apologies for whatever happened there. I was like just bobbing my head, and then like I think I might have knocked the mouse or something and sent it forward like a few seconds. I don't know why, but apologies for that. This is the 4th opening of Maison Ikkoku Sunny Shining Morning by Kiyonori Matsuo. This one definitely wasn't as down and, you know, sad as the previous one was. This one was a lot more upbeat. Like, I want to say it has like a ska sound to it. Like, it's almost sounds like a ska song, like with the way the instruments are being played in the background. And also like it has this city poppy sound too. Like, it's like a blend of city pop and ska. I don't know if that sounds like something that exists, but that's kind of what I'm hearing here. I don't know. Maybe I'm off my rocker, but that's what I'm hearing anyway. Seeing the logo with this really pretty background, like it looks like a textured background almost, again like a canvas. Beautiful, you know, she shows up in the canvas, stunning as always, and then she's in like one of the lights. And, you know, when we see some lights, we see the city, we see it done in a really artistic way, kind of showing that despite all the dazzling lights and despite everything, our character here, this guy character, all he sees is her. I don't think her name is Maria. I think this is kind of like a City Hunter opening 2 all over again, where they're just singing about, what is it, Lisa, or maybe it's also Maria. I can't actually remember the name. It's pretty humorous in that sense that they just have these songs that have characters' names, or they have names that are actual names in the songs that don't relate to a character in the series. Your comment about this sounding city pop is on the money, as you'll notice. None of the artists did other anime songs, at least that we've seen. A good chunk of 80s anime openings just had this money to get what they would be regular pop stars to do songs for them rather than bands known for anime songs. That's really cool. I think that's actually honestly really cool. And it's really obvious that they, like, I think I said it during Maison Ikkoku opening, it sounded like a song opposed to an anime opening, but it was a great anime opening at the same time. So I think this one also kind of had that sound as well, where it sounds like it could have just been any other song, but you know, it's an anime opening. Hiring city pop stars to do these openings was a great idea, because the music that you get for the openings is so good, while also providing just like a great sound for the opening itself. So I think that whoever made that executive decision did a great job. Studio Dean, obviously, they just were like, we're going to be the city pop guys. Like, there's a bunch of mecha openings in the 80s where the lyrics have absolutely nothing to do with the visuals because of that. Yeah, that's really funny, and maybe we'll eventually check some of those out. But I think that regardless, you know, despite the fact that the lyrics might have nothing to do with what actually happens in the anime, the song itself is still great and sounds so fitting for what we're seeing. I think that it's really cute that towards the end, you know, we get to see them kind of looking at each other, and you know, shots like these where, kind of like I said, you know, where the only light that he was seeing was her, and then shots like these where the only thing he sees against his city is her, like she's framed to him. I think that's really cute, and it's really telling that she is really important to him, and she's someone he's really interested in, to the point where all he sees against the beauty of the backdrops and backgrounds is just her. Like, everything else is not as detailed as she is. She's the one that shines and stands out amongst everything. Whereas since a lot of pop stars center on love, they can fit series like Maison Ikkoku. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. Same with City Hunter. That definitely sounded very fitting in it too. Then we see at the end, after she hits all her poses, the two of them meet and they're talking to one another. Everyone shows up with the hopes of pushing them together. But then I don't know why that guy shows up with rice. It's kind of weird. Unless it was so that the dog would barge into them. I don't know if it was a plan or a ploy all along, or if he's kind of trying to keep them from each other, whereas the rest of them are trying to push them into one another. But of course it's a dog. The dog that we've been loving throughout all of these openings that does the deed. The dog is very clumsy. The dog fell in the first opening. You're going to spell up correctly at some point. Don't worry, Pinecino. The dog fell in the first opening. The dog jumped into her arms, I think, in the second opening. And then in this opening, it runs into him and knocks him forward into her. And I think it was really funny, really cleverly done. Really great case of comedy in this sense. The fact that it's a setup is hilarious. And they're just kind of looking at one another then towards the end. And it's this very will they, won't they kiss moment, like it's a near kiss. And the way they're looking into each other's eyes, it's almost like a non-rejection. So it's kind of like telling us like, hey, it'll happen. Just don't worry. Like, it's going to happen at some point. Just not right now because it fades to black. So yeah, really great opening here. I love the song. It was very fun, very jumpy, very energetic, and had this really good feel to it and made me feel hopeful, especially after the last opening for this series. And, you know, it made me feel like they're gonna fall for each other, especially the lyrics, you know, talking about love and everything. Seeing them play tennis as well is just pretty fun. It's been shown in every opening so far. I think I'm now ready to move on to opening number 9. Let us move on to opening number 9 and see what it is that we get in this one. Oh shit! I recognize this song. It is very creative. Every color represents a different person. Oh shit, and then you see them against the background. Oh, look at the shadows against them all too. That's so cool. That's so creative. Oh no, not the green showing up. Whoever the green is clearly someone that they don't want to be around. Oh, everyone is here. Uh-oh. Hajime no Ippo! It's really adorable. It's so cute. He's just running for his life. All these people are after him. And it ends with heart. And he's trying to leave the heart. While all these other people are wrapped up in the heart. That's really funny. The opening is so artistic, not only because of the use of paint, but also how creative it is. The idea that they use behind it, they use, you know, different colors to represent different people. Also just using paint is a great way to show creativity, and great job on Studio Dean's part for creating an opening so creative and so unique in that sense. This is the fourth opening of Ranma, No Way Part 2 by Yoshie Hayasaka. Can't quite figure out what part 1 was. This opening had a lot of creativity, obviously. I love that little motif at the beginning that we heard. I don't know what that is, but, you know, I've heard it before in other things that I imagine it's some sort of classical music motif, perhaps. You know, that do 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 do. That's not exclusive to this series. It's not exclusive to this song or opening. Seeing then Ranma running for his life with all these people chasing after him is so fun. Everywhere he goes at the beginning, he runs into people and he's just trying to get away from them, and he's trying to escape and live his life as himself, but everyone's after him, whether they're after him for his female or male looks. There's always something. Whether, you know, he's a guy, he's got girls after him. When he's a girl, he's got guys after him. You can pretty much figure out the comedy aspect based on that alone. I'd imagine that plays a huge part into the comedy, and seeing everyone then just kind of rushing around him and him just kind of panicking to escape, it's very comedic. And I think that the song itself was very fun. It sounds like, I've been saying a lot, it sounds like something you would hear in a Saturday, Sunday morning cartoon that you would just sit down and have a lot of fun with. That's exactly the vibe and sound that I'm hearing with this. For example, this classic song by Mozart. Okay, see, I knew it had to be classical music, but I had no idea what. I'm very uncultured when it comes to a lot of things, and classical music is definitely one of them. I do think that this is a very fun opening. I think that this one really kind of showcases all the different people who are interested in who here within this opening, and the fact that they're all wrapped up in one another. It's just really entertaining. Seeing then the scramble and the panic towards the end, it's pure fun. And the visuals really just tell us a lot about his wanting to escape this life, I guess. Ending with hearts and ending with him escaping that heart. It's very telling of, I guess, what happens with it in the series and what his purpose, what his goals are. Because, you know, there's a lot of people chasing after him. I think that I might be ready to already move on to the next one with opening number 10. But I did honestly love this opening. I think that in terms of creativity, it was a great one. I love the shadows behind him here in shots like these, and then him being represented as his paper figure that kind of just gets dragged around. It's you know, it's fun and it's entertaining, and it really is just a really good feel-good moment opening in general. Alright, so opening number 10, let's see what it is that we get. Maison Ikkoku gets this kind of textured look now. Are just the words I want to shout from my heart. I love her character design so much. I don't know if I've said that at any point during these openings, but her character design is honestly so good. And I love the way she dresses too. Very cute and very comfy, cozy looking. Aww. She's like doing her own thing. Oh, a little cherry blossom, is that? Oh, here we go. Here come two guys. And she's stuck in the middle. So I don't know if the guy that was on the left was her dead husband, maybe? Oh. This is like just pure vibes. Like the city pop is so good here. Oh, we're in full screen now, and the dog is here. Wait, does the dog have no eyes? Oh, I think the dog is blind and that's why it keeps like running into things and falling over. I'm seeing now. Okay. That. Yeah, okay. I see, I see. This is the fifth and final opening of Maison Ikkoku Sunny Spot by Kouzou Murashita. The anime would end with its 96th episode adapting up to the second to last chapter, with the final chapter being adapted into its very own film. This is adorable. I think of the series that we've checked out today, like I've said it before, you know, it's no surprise. This is the series I would want to check out the most. This looks like something that really just tells this really great story. Like everything I've seen is just really well presented here. The fact that this opening again did a great job of just telling this story of her just being by herself, doing her thing, and then being perceived by others, I guess, because, you know, people are walking past her, looking at her. I'm wondering if the guy on the left that we see here, he looked like he played tennis. So I wonder if she and him played tennis together and then he passed and now she's, you know, single, like she's widowed, and then this other guy shows up. He's the one that is interested in her and everyone's trying to kind of help push them together. It's a really stunning, beautiful opening, and it's really just giving these really beautiful moments within these openings as well. Like you say that's our tennis guy. I don't know if he's just another potential interest or if he is actually the dead husband. I don't know. Stunning, beautiful opening. I love her look. I love her character design. I think that they did a great job. Takahashi just really hit it out of the park with designing her. Everything about this opening, the clothing, the way that they all move, it's just everything about it is amazing. The song as well. Maison Ikkoku has had a few other like city pop tracks within these openings, but this one is also very city pop and it really feels fitting for the final opening for this series. It really just keeps telling the story of love, you know, the petals falling, fluttering love, changing prayers back into promises to you. Don't forget the most important thing, I want to keep on shining with you. It's just really telling us this really beautiful story. It's honestly very touching. It's very beautiful and it's very emotionally driven here, and I think that by the end of the series, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it grabs more than one tear out of the viewers. I'd imagine that, you know, there's a fair few moments throughout the series that are very emotional and can very easily, you know, get a tear out of you. The phasing in and out of focus effect is great. You try to replicate it with the title text. The fade in and out is a staple within these Maison Ikkoku openings. We see her fading in and out a lot throughout all of these openings. We see a lot of fading in and out throughout all these openings. I think that it's kind of, you know, representing the passage of time. Things come and go, you know, they don't always come and go right away. So you did these subtitles. Did you do that where you made like some letters red? That's really cool. You like made the letters that were within the text red as well. I was like, what's the red about? But no, that's really cool actually. That's actually pretty badass, honestly. And it goes into focus. Let me see. Oh yeah, no, I see. Oh yeah, no, that's really cool. Actually, you did a great job with that. The timing and everything was perfect there. Everyone give Pinecino his flowers because he did a cool little edit there. That was really cool, actually. For a great opening. Pinecino, do you have a favorite opening for Maison Ikkoku? You keep that a secret to the end? Okay. I think the second one, was it the one that was kind of like a lot slower and, you know, sadder? I think that might be my favorite though. Like at the same time, every single one has been so creative. I feel like Studio Dane has really been able to show their creative side here. How they can visualize like these visuals or this story and also tell great stories and just show us visual storytelling within these openings. Like I think that these openings have been their kind of like the best that they've done for this era. Urusei, Yatsura and Ranma have also had great openings for sure. Like I've loved them all, but honestly, it's the Maison Ikkoku openings that have really been selling me and that have really been interesting me and piquing my interest more than the others. And I don't know if that's because the story looks like a very emotionally driven one or touching one, or if it's because of the openings as well. Like I don't know, but they've done a great job here and I'd be curious to see what more this series has to offer. I don't think we checked out opening number 2 for Maison Ikkoku. I wonder why that is. You think there must have been a major staff shakeup at Dean, because you'll say this is the reason they got a bad reputation in the 2000s. 2000s. Oh shit. They got a bad rep in the 2000s? That's crazy. Maybe that's why I hadn't seen them before, because the retro videos are very topic based, or like you take a certain aspect and run with it for the retros. So, you know, if they had a bad rep in the 2000s, that's probably why we hadn't seen any of them. They were a meme example for bad studios. That's awful, because yeah, like the creativity and the love that they show throughout this is honestly stunning. And then they rebounded with Konosuba. I'm glad that they did, because, you know, I'd honestly love to see more that they've done since Konosuba, because they've done a great job. They did a great job with those openings, and they're on a great, amazing job with these as well. Let's move on to number 11 and see what we get. What's it gonna be? Is that Urusei Yatsura? Lum is back. I can see through your tricks. It's a big bold logo for the series too. Oh, look at her batting her eyelids. Was that serious, like scrunch up nose look? She's such a tease. Oh, this is so cool. What's that goldfish thing? Your temperature is rising. This poor guy. He just can't catch a break. That's cute. Her singing along to the song. Might not be too attractive. Oh, that's really fun. She's singing along to the parts that's like, you know, I'm attractive, right? And he's constantly running like he was at the very beginning of opening one. He's still running, while these bolts of love perhaps are being thrown at him. This is the 6th and final opening of Urusei Yatsura, Gentlemen, I'm Sorry by Shoko Minami. Like Maison Ikkoku, Urusei Yatsura's final chapter, actually the full-on last 2 volumes, would not be adapted in the TV series in favor of its 5th film. In fact, both the Urusei Yatsura and Maison Ikkoku final chapter films release on the same day as a double feature. I mean, that's really cool, but that's kind of bizarre because they're 2 completely different series. Like, it's not like a Barbenheimer that it's like so vastly different that it's funny. This just seems like, I don't know. Fans of both series are probably really excited and this was probably a huge deal for them, but I don't know, that just seems really odd to me. Another great opening, another creatively stunning opening, another banger song. Every song we checked out today has been so good. So many city pop bangers, and seeing Lum do her thing where she's winking at everyone, you know, she's being very, I don't know if you would say seductive, you know, she's kind of like trying to seduce our main character with her winking and her batting her eyelids at him. Then she points her finger up and creates a bolt of lightning and just starts throwing. Like, I'm thinking Gwen from Dark Souls. She just starts throwing those shits and trying to connect to people's hearts. Like, she throws it at a heart. Then we see it at the end, which she's throwing it at the main character as he's trying to run away, and it's this really funny scene because he's trying to escape and the bolts are just landing right at his feet behind him as he's trying to escape. So she's still fighting for his love potentially, or fighting for his affection. I don't know what it actually is that she's fighting for, or what she wants out of this. Having her singing along to the song was so fun. Like, we haven't seen that, I don't think, in any of the other openings that we've checked out today. We do see it in some other openings that I've checked out on the channel, you know, characters singing along to the opening song. Seeing her sing along just feels so fitting because, you know, the lyrics, oh yes, you're watching me, I am watching you, as she stares directly at us, might I be too attractive, as it shows other characters, and then right back to Gentlemen, I'm Sorry, we see her again. So it's just really funny, really playful, and Lum wants him to link the flame. Oh shit, maybe. It's a really playful opening and it's a really funny one, and I think that in terms of creativity, you know, also then you won't be able to sleep tonight as it shows her fading out into the city skyline. It's pure fun, it's pure joy, and it's pure energy, and it really does, I feel like, encapsulate the relationship that he has with Lum. I don't know if the childhood sweetheart is entirely out of the picture at this point, because I don't think we saw her at any point during this. We barely saw her during the 5th opening that we checked out prior to this. So I don't know really what to make of that. I don't know if there even is a love triangle at this point or what's happening. As a final opening, it sums up the series perfectly. It really did a great job of just making you feel like, yep, this was the cast of characters that I knew and love, and I can't wait to see where we go next in the movie, I guess. You know, I can't wait to see what happens after this. And I'm sure for people who read the manga, this probably felt like a good fitting wrap-up ending for that series, because it really did have that feeling of, yep, this is the end and you're gonna fall in love with me. Seeing all the guys doting after her as well is just really funny, and I think that she is an absolute menace, and I would want to know just the extent to how far her menacing, you know, personality goes. You know, not menacing personality, but the personality that is kind of a menace in his plans. Like, she's pesky, I guess. I want to know, like, just the extent to which that goes. But yeah, I think now we're ready to move on to opening number 12. Another great creative opening from Studio Dean. I have loved these openings so much. I think that Piero and Dean have done a great job with this set that we've checked out today, and I'm curious to see what we're going to get in the next one. I suspect we might get another Ranma opening for number 12, perhaps. Who knows? Maybe we're jumping into Inuyasha though. Who knows? Opening number 12. I wonder what we're going to get in this one. Oh, big dirty guitar. Hell yeah. Ranma is back. This sounds so different. Oh, I love this. The track. Kiss, kiss, kiss. It's just pure 80s rock right here. I love it. Don't cheat. No, not the water. Oh, that's the father. I see. I see now. I saw that. Just constantly avoiding all these people. That's so funny. The different personalities. Oh, that was really cool transition into the logo. Ranma half, boiling water. I do like the Ranma logo as well, it's very fun. Oh shit, and then there's the half and half, that's cool. It's a shame the necks don't line up. The necks over here and then the necks over there. This is the 7th and final opening of Ranma. Love Seeker Can't Stop It by Vision. Unlike the other two series, Ranma's finale was not adapted to anime, and in fact a lot of the latter portion of the manga never was either. There's recent interest now that if this new remake proves successful enough, it can potentially reach the ending and give Ranma anime fans a conclusion that they've desired for decades now. Well, I hope that they can get that, because this opening itself was very fun. The series does look like a really fun one. It looks like the sort of goofy hijinks sort of show that anyone could just sit down and enjoy. Like, it just screams pure fun, pure joy, and I don't think there's really anything bad there is to say about the series at all, apart from, you know, the titties from a child in opening number 2, I guess. But other than that, it's been a great series of openings, and it really does seem like a really fun series. The fact that Ranma's always running away from people is just so funny to me. It's just a fun concept that there's all these people trying to get him, all these people that want to know him, all these people that want to get to know him, and he's just wanting nothing to do with it, and he's transitioning into male, female every so often. It's just interesting to see how different people are interested when he's one version and the other, you know, that sort of thing. The song as well sounded very 80s rock. I feel like I have a song in my head, but I can't place it. Like this part right here, that sounds like Footloose, right? Like, that sounds like Footloose, come on. Like the I don't know what, like, that's just what it's reminding me of. I knew it was reminding me of a song and I could not place it. But yeah, I think that's what it was reminding me of. And, you know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but because, like, it's only a section of the song and it's only the instrumentation, not the rest of the song that actually sounds like it. But it is reminding me of that, and I think that's cool because, you know, Footloose is a fun song and this is a really fun opening. And seeing all these different things, you know, happening all over again, seeing the way the personality changes when he becomes female, when female becomes male, stuff like that. It's just a really interesting dynamic, seeing the panda transition into the human father, everything, and then the logo flashes and we get the two characters opposite each other. I'm honestly surprised that this never got an ending from the manga. Like, the manga ending was never adapted to anime, because I thought this was really popular enough to actually get that treatment. I'm surprised that it didn't. I wonder if there's a reason for it, or if it's just kind of like they caught up, maybe. I don't know. I hope that anime only fans do get a conclusion with this upcoming, well, I say upcoming, with this remake that has been airing, I think. Like, it started airing alongside Dandadan. I think it's still airing. The economy in Japan crashing in the early 90s. That makes sense, and it's a shame because this could have been, we could have been checking out more Ranma openings today, and that would have been a lot of fun. That's sadly the case. Like, as someone that went through that era of shows, it quickly became a barren wasteland. Shit. That's a damn shame, because what came before it and what came after is really damn good. I'd be interested to know if this series leaves off in a really weird and awkward spot, or if it kind of does leave off in a spot that isn't shitty for fans of the series. Because, like, yeah, I want everyone, obviously, that enjoys the series to, you know, enjoy the entirety of it and to get to a conclusion that they're happy with. It's always a shame when series get cancelled before they can fully realize the vision that they had in mind. Because, like, imagine if some of your favorite shows got cancelled midway through and you never got to see that conclusion. It'd be so disappointing and so upsetting. It had like a series of follow-up OVAs to keep it going, but yet never got anything conclusive. That's such a shame. Maybe it will get that though now with MAPPA. Of all people, MAPPA are doing it. So, you know, maybe in 10 years we'll get season 2. You think also because by then Inuyasha was starting up and the audience moved on to it. That's a shame. I see though, that makes sense. But at the same time, it's a shame because this series does look very special. It looks like a very fun one. It looks like it's so creative and it had all these original new cool ideas that just made the series stand out and be unique alongside a cast of many other huge series during this time period. So yeah, I think now I'm ready to move on to the final opening, but I have had an absolute blast checking out Ranma, Maison, Ikkoku, and Urusei Yatsura. Those have been so fun to check out, and I suspect highly that this final opening is going to be Inuyasha. We'll see if that is the case. As always, please feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment down below letting me know what you think of these series. I'd love to hear your opinions on them. I'd love to hear, you know, just different little pieces of trivia that don't give away plots of the show or don't give away spoilers for the shows. And also subscribe if you haven't already. We're on our way to 1,200 subscribers, I think, at this point, which is absolutely insane. Maybe by the time I post this, we've already crossed that at that point. As always, big things are coming for the channel. I do have some plans. I just need to put them in place, and hopefully, you know, we can start to see those big things coming. But yeah, I'm just going to move on to this next one. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your support. And I can't wait to check out opening number 13, which is almost certainly going to be Inuyasha. Final opening number 13. Let's just dive right into this. Ooh. Oh, it's Maison Ikkoku. Okay. So this is from the movie. Climbing to the top, will throw myself up in an effort to make clear to everyone it's like when you're shattered, left standing in the lurch at a church where people are saying, my this God, is really pretty. No point in us remaining, we may as well go on, 'cause I did on my own, alone again, naturally. It seems to me that there are more hearts broken in the world. Blind doggy, so cute. Left unattended. This is really, really beautiful. What stares out into space. Oh, look at that. That, like, new style for them. You're not gonna be alone again. No, you're not. No. Aw, that was really, really cute. And that was Maison Ikkoku opening for the movie, I guess. This is the second. Oh, this is the second opening. Okay. I was wondering why you skipped the second one. I was really curious about that. I thought that this would have been the opening for the movie, perhaps. Bro actually thought it would be Inuyasha. Well, Inuyasha was the 90s, no? Or no, Inuyasha was early 2000s, wasn't it? That's 2000s. Okay. Is there any reason why you chose to do the second opening last, opposed to going through them sequentially? I do think that this is a very fittingly great ending or opening to end this video on, for sure. Like, I'm not giving you shit for that. I'm just curious if you had an actual reason for putting this one last, because normally we go through them in order, you know. This opening, along with an ending that also featured an O'Sullivan song, only played for the 24th episode of the series. It wasn't pulled due to some copyright dispute. In fact, the anime production company and the record label that signed O'Sullivan for distribution in Japan were under the same roof and simply did some cross promotion. It would still be used in the live action film 2 months later. Live action film? What? But would be removed from later DVD/Blu-ray releases of the anime. The song was apparently removed and reverted back to the first opening upon the airing of the next episode due to a negative response from Japanese viewers. I could maybe see that lyrics about suicide seemed a bit too extreme when you just read them in translated text form, but do you think maybe the all-Irish melancholic nature of the song just didn't translate well culturally? Personally, you adore it, and it's one of your personal favorite openings from this era. Absolutely, it's an absolutely stunning opening. Visually and sonically, like, it's so perfectly fitting for this series. The Irish melancholy is just so present within this opening. Like, it's stunning. It's a really great opening, and I think that, you know, they did a great job. They outdid themselves with this one, and it's really interesting now to look back at this opening, considering we checked out some of the previous ones, because this one has the closest to a near kiss that we have seen in any of the other openings. So that's why you put it at the end, because you love it and thought it was the best. Fair enough. And fitting as an end to the set. Gotcha. Yeah, this was very fitting, and I think that the styles that we see in this opening are very beautiful. Like, I feel like it almost looks like there are different styles present. Like the shot that I had it on a minute ago where they're nearly kissing, like this looks very different from the usual style. This shot right here, this is obviously different from the style, and I think that, you know, showcasing this within an opening is very cool. And I'm curious then, the visuals that we see in this opening as well, we only saw those in one episode. Episode, what, 24? Was this the visuals and the song itself were only in episode 24, or was it like they just put the song from opening one over this one? The visuals also only played once. That's such a shame, because this is great. I really do love the kind of like feeling of all alone again, love myself, promises to love yourself and left alone. It really does capture the essence of this series perfectly. It really captures how she probably feels, and her mindset, and just everything about it is just honestly like so fitting for her. Like, this is her opening right here. This is not an opening about love. This is not an opening about them finding love for one another or her moving on. This is an opening about her mindset and where she's at and how she's going through things. And the song, the lyrics really do encapsulate that perfectly. There are more broken hearts in the world. What do we do? Shots of her alone in like a winter setting, and then closing her eyes, sad, all alone, and then seeing all these other cast of characters who are happy. You know, they've got some joy in their lives. They've got, you know, hope. They've got everything. Whereas she's only got a dog, and the lyrics saying alone again naturally. You think on later releases they had the same visuals but just use opening one song over it, so maybe they did that in the TV broadcast too. You don't know, you weren't there. Fair enough. This one really is a beautiful, honest opening. Like, it's a really, truly honest opening that really stays true to what the series is about and the vision that Takahashi probably had for the series. It really does ring true. This one and all of them just feel like they're very fitting for the series, but this one and the one that we checked out, I think it was the third opening for the series, just feels so perfectly fitting for this series as a whole. Like, you know, the sadness and that melancholy and that somber feeling and that overcoming something and that feeling of, you know, being alone but finding love again. Like, it's it's just really, really fitting. And I love that this opening is how we decided to end this video, because it is so beautiful. It is so naturally fitting as an opening for this series, and it only makes me want to watch the series more and more. Like 6 openings for this series, every single one was amazing. The openings for Ranma were all great too. The openings for Urusei Yatsura, all great too. Like, it has just been a really great list today. And honestly, Takahashi had a huge hold on this genre and this era of anime, because everything has been great, and I am so glad that we were able to check these out, and I hope that we're able to check out more of her series in the future with Inuyasha and anything else that comes after it, because this is honestly amazing. And the fact that she was writing all of these series sequentially, like alongside other series, is absolutely mind-blowing to me, because they're all so different. They all tell such interesting stories, and this one especially having a more, I would say, darker tone, but it's, I imagine it's kind of light in the sense that it deals with dark themes, but it doesn't make the series dark. It kind of just has this, you know, lightness to it. And, you know, she looks like a ray of light. She looks like she's this really great person, but, you know, she's really down and she's really sad and upset because her husband's passed away. She's been recently widowed, and, you know, rightfully so, she's sad and depressed. And I think that it's really beautiful that, you know, this series is about everyone coming together to help her overcome that, to help her along her path of rediscovering love, her path of rediscovering herself and self-fulfillment and everything like that, either into each other or at the same time, is just crazy. Yeah, absolutely. Takahashi is an absolute monster, and she is an absolute beast, an absolute animal, and she deserves all the credit in the world for these 3 series that we checked out today. And I don't really have much more to say besides thank you to Pinecino as always for this list. Thank you to Takahashi for, you know, these wonderful series that you've created. Thank you to Studios Piero and Dean for animating these series. And thank you to all the artists that were present in all of these openings. It was a really fun set to check out, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. Great songs, every single one of them. Another great banger here. I say banger, but I say that knowing that it was very somber, from Gilbert O'Sullivan, Alone Again, naturally. And I think that, you know, every single opening had a very special place in this set, and, you know, they all came together. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know which your favorite was from this video, which your favorite of her works is, if it's Inuyasha or something else that maybe she's done later. And also be sure to thank Pinecino for his work as always. Thank you to anyone who came by today to check out the stream. I really appreciate it. It's always a lot of fun when you guys are here. If anyone would like to be here for a stream in the future, I do have the link to my Twitch in the description below. It is twitch.tv/Jazmur. I do post announcements on the community tab on YouTube and also on my Twitter when I'm going live, and I tend to post there a little bit in advance or a good bit in advance. Sometimes I kind of post the updates as I'm going live. So if you want to be here for one of these videos in future before I post them on YouTube, that's how you can do it. You know, just stay informed, you know, stay up to date with the posts and everything. And yeah, I hope to see you in the future. That's going to do it for me. I hope you guys are having a great day and that you're able to check out some of the other content perhaps if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Take care.